Hello and welcome to my messy desk. I am continuing to play with the new software and hardware. For some reason, all my settings for this camera seem to have gotten lost, so hopefully there's something being recorded right now, at least video-wise. My mic pickup seems to be hitting the levels I want. I don't know why my audio is always so low. I'm still playing with that. I don't want to spend a whole video tweaking mic augs, blah blah blah, left, right. Yeah, there isn't really. Okay, that says 100%. So hopefully, sorry, like I said, I don't want to spend the whole time messing with this stuff. And now I see messages coming in. Anyway, hopefully another quick video, given my attempts at quick videos always end up being 20 minutes long, which is what YouTube wants me to do anyway. So today, all I wanted to do was, I need to clean up my desk. It's just building up, building up. I was just doing some touch-up painting. Still have other things I'm holding on to for projects in the works. Watchbands. This has been my everyday wear casual watch since I bought it I bought this as a birthday present to myself towards the beginning of the year. It's a Timex North Expedition with a Seiko Solar movement. I've been very happy with it. This band I got as an experiment. I like the idea of self-adjusting bands, and I saw this, and it's a stretchy material, and I was like, well, that reminds me of my Spidal metal bands. Let's give it a try. I've worn it for, what's it been, 9 months, give or take, and it's starting to get fuzzy. Obviously, the material is starting to wear a bit, and it's also getting stretched out. I noticed the other day I had to adjust it yet again, and so I decided to commit to an actual Spidal, which I really love their bands, and I'll be showing that in a second. The band it came, now the reason I went with this is because it looks like a fabric or nylon band, the NATO style, which this watch came with. In fact, this right here is the band it came with, an actual NATO style band. If you haven't seen these before, the NATO bands are a military style band. They're used, I don't know how, I guess I could have done some research. I don't know how often they're used by military personnel, but here, I will show you how they work and why I don't use these. Now, I do have others that are similar, or made out of a similar, wow, why is similar hitting me today? Similar material. What I don't like about the full online strap is the fact that it adds thickness to the watch, and I don't like my watch raised above my wrist any more than it needs to be. The reason they designed it this way was to give you a custom solid fit around your wrist. I wear my watch on my right wrist. As you can see, I'm not wearing it right now because I'm left-handed, and that's, well, my reasoning for wearing it that way. Different people wear watches on different wrists for different reasons, but I have noticed other lefties wearing their watch on their right hand. I imagine it's because we do more with our left, and we don't want to be swinging our watch around any more than we need to be. All right, so the NATO band is designed, the watch, I suppose I could have pulled a watch and simulated this. The watch gets slipped on, and the band goes underneath the physical watch and comes out over the bars. And then you strap this under here. So the watch this is run through the bands while this strap runs underneath, completely underneath, and it secures the watch in place so that the watch can only slip up and down. Now the watch should be held via it's being strapped to your wrist, so this is to help limit the movement of the watch, just in case. So it might slide a little bit, and you can reposition it up and down, depending on the tightness that you secure the band. and then it's, well, secure and it's separated from your wrist. The idea is that moisture, sweat, etc. will keep your watch from flipping around on your wrist, sliding around and causing issue. I mean, obviously, the military doesn't want you to have things sliding around and out of place. They want your equipment secure where you put it. So I get the idea, and I get how and why it works and does what it does. Um, I myself am not a big fan. I mean, I have a lot of watches with fixed. I don't know if I can. I don't have a reason to put this on. You can see how it works. There are videos that show there are a number of different ways to configure a NATO band and wear it. You can lighten it up by not putting the under strap. If you don't like it being raised as much, you can thin it out a little bit. Um, like I said, I think there are 4 different configurations for wearing a NATO band, and you can find those in other videos if you want. I will happily provide links. Alright, so that's why I went with this band, because it reminded me, it's got the fabric, it's got the look, it is fabric, so it's got a similar look. This NATO watch went to the more trimmed, and it's actually a thinner than the other NATO bands I've had. Now, similar are NATO, let's call them NATO simulated watch bands. I hate fingerprints on my crystals, so you'll see me wipe. I should have brought one of my print towels, one of my optics rags. This right here, Series 5 field watch. Wore this watch for years in the 90s. This is my black one. I had a blue one that I got for when I was in the Civil Air Patrol as a uniform watch. As you can see, its band is a nylon stitch band. It actually has a leather inlay for the buckle pin, so it doesn't wear away at the leather, and it's very thick. It's actually got a full leather backing with nylon on top, and as a result, this is a thick band. If this was run underneath the watch, like full length, it would definitely raise the watch up. So I did like these bands when I used them. I didn't like the constant adjustment, and that's what brought me to the bands that I prefer. I still wear secured position watch bands occasionally for dress watches, or if I just change whatever my mood is or outfit, if I'm matching up. But I have found, due to circular... Wow, the autofocus is not locking down here, is it? Well, at least it's showing up close. I apologize for that. I'm just now noticing that my screen is all the blurry. I don't know if that helps. And then it goes blurry again because there's nothing singular to lock onto. I apologize. Anyway, I'll try to get through this quickly, and then you don't have to deal with it. So NATO band, this is the replacement band I bought. It's made by Speidel. Speidel is famous for their stretchy metal bands, as my buddy Chris calls them, Grandpa's band. I'm sure that's where I learned about it. I imagine my grandfather had a watch with a Speidel on it, and that's where I remember it from. I believe it's called Twistoflex. It's a really heavy duty. I've had watches that I've seen antiques, or well, vintage watches. It's hard to say antique watches wristwatches have haven't even been around 100 years, or well, no, 100 plus years for wristwatches. But anyway, I like these bands. I've had them. Actually, this, give you a reference. This is the watch I used to wear. This was my casual daily wear watch for at least the past decade. I believe I got this as a birthday present. I don't remember if it was my 40th. It might have been 41st, 42nd, somewhere around there. But I've had it for a few years. This is a Speidel, also a Speidel. Got it in the metallic finish with the matte, the chrome to matte, so it matched the finish of the watch. It's got the nice stretchiness, and like I said, it just self-adjusts. So, as someone that suffers from circular distorted wow, I am tongue-tied today. I apologize. As someone that suffers from circulatory distress and circulatory issues, along with the fact that I retain water and I have put on quite a bit of weight, which has me retaining more water, my wrist changes in size pretty dramatically. So I used to have to adjust my watch as a regular thing to where and that's why I prefer these bands. All right, I'm going to do a quick rundown. Then I'm going to change this band out. And something I did want to show on this, because this is a newer band, it features a new option that you'll find on some new watch bands. I think a lot of the the bands on the smartwatches have these built-in pin levers that you can just hit with your nail. As you can see, mine are overdue for trimming. I apologize again. Um, you literally can just snap it in and out. You don't have to use a spring tool, which I think is fantastic. However, that means that the pin is built into the ends of the watch, which can be problematic depending on finding a fitting. I know they also have extended pins. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to be trying to use today. I think the pins, I do have a pin collection somewhere, which I probably should have found. In fact, I couldn't. My primary watch tool kit is not in its home, as I have a preferred. Sorry, I need to. This is garbage. Garbage, garbage. I have a preferred spring pin tool. This is not it. This was just another one I had lying around, so this is the one I'm going to attempt to use today. I have them all over the place, so I wasn't too stressed. I'm sure my primary watch tool, I have a pretty big watch tool kit set. Imagine it's just next to one of my other workbenches from working on something else, and I forgot to put it back in its home. And yeah, see, looking right in the drawer here, here's another spring tool with some spring pins. Big surprise. I have them all over the place, along with adapters, some audio adapters, scribes. I love my scribe tools, so they're often in drawers. But I digress. All right, let's just cover these bands really quick, get this changed out, and let you guys get on with your day. I just wanted to show some quick bands, what I like about them, what I don't like about them. Your classic, there are a lot of different metallic bands with different clasps. There's new auto-adjusting ones that don't have the spring like this. It's actually, there's a spring load in the secured clasp. I probably could have looked up to see what that was, who makes them, and but they are pretty cool. This is a stationary. This uses a secure pin in the base. This is my Seiko tack that I haven't worn in a while. In fact, my wrist might be a little too. There we go. And as you can see, yeah, it's a little snug on me. Might need to look into getting a new link for that. But there's my Seiko tack, and that just secures like that. It's got these secure clasps here, and then it comes. Doesn't open completely, but opens enough to get your hand in. So that's another metallic style. They have all different like styles, metals, combinations of like link size and detail. One of my favorite bands was from a Skagen watch I had in the 90s. That was a daily wear I wore for a few years. It was a tiny little chain link. The watch was titanium. I don't think the band was titanium. I think the band was stainless steel. But the watch had a titanium finish. Supposedly it was a case, was titanium. Which is a big deal in modern watches. I don't know that I have this Seiko 5 looks like a titanium, but I think that's just the powder finish on the frame. But I digress again. I wonder what happened to that Skagen. That probably in a box somewhere. So anyway, I apologize if that beeping is coming up. Got a lot of messages coming in. So let's go. We have my oldest, I believe this is my oldest watch, which I'm not wearing anymore because it's having some accuracy issues, plus the face just popped off of it. So I need to get this puppy serviced. In fact, I probably, once I verify what that crystal's made out of, I might get that replaced. That's pretty beat up. This is a Seiko Chronos from 1959. The Chronos was introduced in 58. It was a lot of revolutionary parts to this watch. It introduced their DiaShock system. It reduced, I don't remember all the details, but it reduced a lot of the mechanics to where it was able to thin out. I mean, look at how thin that watch is. I mean, that crystal, if it raised the lip and put a flat crystal in there, didn't have the globe crystal, this would be a really, really thin watch. And somehow, is it ticking? I thought it, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'm not going to diagnose it now. But something you're probably noticing is how sparkly the band looks. Now this is, to stick with this vintage Japanese watch, I put on a band that is favored, or used to be favored in Japan. This is Stingray. This is a very unique material. I've done some leather work. I've only worked with calfskin as far as the leather work I have done. I also have not made a watch band to date. Most of the leather work I've done have been belts, pouches, sheaths, holsters, and similar equipment. This is it's made up of tiny little nodules. I don't know how well you can see that. That are really hard. You can probably hear that. They're really hard and they hold up really well. But they're, because of their backing being soft and tough, it's very flexible. In fact, this backing of this leather is like silk. This is obscenely soft. I can't even describe how comfortable and fantastic. And I mean, it's just elegant and also expensive. Real Stingray is not cheap. And so moving on from there, we have my other Seiko. I wore this watch. This is my daily wear. It's a 1966, I think it's an 80, what is the movement on here? It's the 80-50 movement, the 66 80-50. Pure mechanical, yep. It's a pure mechanical Seiko watch from the late 60s. I love the vintage look and feel of it. Sorry, I didn't go into too more with the Chronos. The Chronos was the first three-hand minimalist watch introduced by the designer whose name I probably would mispronounce, so I'm glad I can't remember it. Anyway, he was part of the Seiko family. So this continues to be one of my favorite Seikos. It's a pure mechanical watch from 1966. The band on it is just a simple, yeah, this is the leather, right? Yeah. All right, it might be a vintage leather. The problem with vintage leather is, I mean, leather can only last so long. It does break down under moisture, and this is kind of gross underneath. I'm not going to show that. But wore this watch for years. I love it. It's not, unfortunately, it's mechanical, and mechanical watches simply aren't super accurate. Now, like the modern mechanicals, like a spring drive, I think is still the most accurate mechanical watch. Although people argue it's not a mechanical watch because it's electronically regulated, but that's a whole conversation. Let's see. This one is ticking. That's probably because it's a quartz, which I would be surprised. But no, it's got a wind up. I wonder if it just seized or if I instinctively wound it and didn't think about it. This is a Russian Paketa, Raketa, however I'm mispronouncing the name, I'm sure. You may notice it's a, well, if I put it right side up there for you, that is a 24-hour timepiece right there. I love confusing people with this watch. Obviously, it's not set to the right time, not that it would matter because you're not going to be watching this live. Um, I have a couple Russian watches. One is in really bad shape that needs to be serviced. I have another pilot style watch that's in a different leather case. I got this leather case about, oh, I'm pretty certain it was pre-COVID. It's from a Russian family that makes bands specifically for Russian style watches. This is a Russian pilot watch. It is the Russians make some pretty nice heavy duty watches. These things are similar to our Timex watches where they will just can take a beating and they will last forever. Unlike the Timex, which I actually just skipped. But anyway, possible future videos. I might be servicing or attempting to service some Russian watches that I got on the cheap, and they are made pretty tough. Finding parts isn't always easy, especially nowadays. Like I said, that's how I got lucky that I was able to get this handmade leather strap in the style. Like and you can see how this leather piece underneath was done to simulate what the NATO bands do, in that it's protecting the wrist from the metal. So for pilots, they don't have their watch freeze to their skin, and or if they wear the watch over their glove, in which case you will see some giant bands. Lots of different military bands, but that was one of the things, was to keep the watch off the skin so the moisture wouldn't make it slick and have your watch sliding all over the place. So there is that. Now let's go back to skip to this puppy. This is another Timex. However, this is a Timex with a Timex movement. This is a vintage Timex. I used to know once again, didn't prep for this because I'm just changing out a watch band. I believe I had this in my other video, and so I probably gave the dustproof, waterproof. I'm not making out a serial number on it. Shock resistant. Anyway, this is an old style Timex. These are the watches that were advertised. I want to say this is from the 50s or 60s. It's possibly early 70s. It's got that late 50s, early 60s styling. It's got numbers on it, so that's not in line with the Japanese styling. Given you want to have something of your own look. But anyway, the purpose we're looking at here is the band. This is a vintage alligator strap. And what's unique about the alligator is it's not as hard as the stingray, but it is a bit harder. It almost feels like a plastic on top with a really soft leather underneath. And obviously this was I guess chrome tanned, so the dye process was part of the tanning, I presume. That's once again another conversation. I think my plan with this was to remove the Timex movements have a limited lifespan. They don't have jewels in them. There is no, if you find an old Timex, it'll never have a jewel rating on it because they don't use jewels. They had like a pinwheel system that was very precise, and it was about as accurate as any other watch. However, it had a limit because it was metal on metal. You have a limited time frame. A lot of people will service these watches by just soaking them in lighter fluid to clean out gunk and buildup, and then just bathing them in oil. And that's how they'll clean and treat the movement. I don't know if that's the best way to do it. In fact, I might do that. If I pull the movement out of this, I might give it a quick lighter fluid bath and then just saturate it in oil and just pack it in Cosmoline or something to keep it in case somebody wants an original movement. My idea is to refurbish this and put a modern movement. The problem is I'd like to put a mechanical movement in, just like this. This is a wind-up watch. I may be stuck. Ooh, that is tightly wound. I need to quit winding that. That or it's just the movement is stiff. Anyway, that was my idea, was to remove the movement, secure it, clean it, secure it, and resell it if someone was interested in refurbishing an old Timex. As far as restoring the original Timex with all the Timex parts, my idea was to disassemble, clean, polish the crystal, or possibly replace it. I think it's just uh, polycarbonate, which I could polish up. It's really in pretty decent shape. No real deep scratches, not as cloudy as the old Seiko. Um, and possibly put a modern style movement in it. I'd really like a mechanical movement. I don't know if I would go with an auto winding. I don't know. I should, when I have time, I'll look into it. We'll see what I do. If someone's interested in buying. My idea, I like these watches because they are from a time period, and I like the idea of having something reliable with the vintage. And given they're doing a lot of vintage look watches where they'll simulate the same face, and you probably couldn't tell them apart, and they will obviously look brand new. But I like the idea of old watches with new parts in them, or maybe I'll just keep it as it is. I don't know. We'll see if someone wants an old Timex that's perfectly functional. I might be open to selling this. All right, I apologize for going off on that. We covered alligator, we covered my exotics, my nylon and my Series 5, my metal, my spidles. All right, let's just do a quick change out. Here is my modern Timex with the Seiko movement. And this will be now. I've never been really good with the pins. Now the removal, as you can see, super easy, especially with my nails that are overdue for trimming. And once again, I apologize. And now, I believe these are the self-adjusting pins. And they're secured in the frame here. And they have the directions and usage. I have put band pins in a few times, so I probably should have removed these beforehand. I apologize. Wish I had a quick story I could share, but I don't. Why is that? That's like encased in plastic. So far I have not had to edit any of these videos. I'm not sure. That seems to have taken up. Yeah, see, that got all of it out. Let's try it with another one. Yep, alright. So this one still has plastic on it. I need to remember to save those, find my kit, put them in. Now the question of, is the one, are these even the same size? No, they aren't. Alright, so it looks like I made a boo-boo here. These pins, that was right next to it. Why is that one so much, or was it? Nope, that's a longer one. Let's take a look. These appear to be the self-adjusting pins, but they have a range of the spring pins for a long time were very specific to the size. Just by looking at it, I would guess I'm at like an 18 or 19 millimeter. So I need to figure out why this plastic and do that. we go. Alrighty. And my tool. I apologize. I probably shouldn't be doing this right over. Alright. And this is where I could use a zoom on my camera. In theory, I believe I can. That's why I need to play with the software a bit more. Now the ends, the extenders here come out. It doesn't matter which way we go on. So I'm going to stick you in there. Since we have this off, what did I just do with it? I got this. Give it a quick little cleaning in there. And there we go. Have to clean that crystal off. It's a real sapphire crystal, which is part of the reason I got it. I really like the Hardlex, the custom layered crystals from that Seiko makes. However, if we're going to compare, I don't think anything compares to real sapphire, or well, synthetic sapphire, which is the. I mean, if you got real sapphire crystal, then you got at least a $3,000 watch, if not more. I don't know what real sapphire is going with it nowadays, but the fact that they can. I mean, I've actually made sapphire in my kiln. It's actually pretty easy to do. I mean, you're literally just silicone. Well, you know what? This is going to turn into an adventure. So, I've shown my bands. See, I'm not. I've shown my bands. I've shown this. You can imagine what this is going to look like. It's that band on this watch. I'm now going to spend an obscene amount of time putting these damn pins in. I'm not going to bore you guys with that. So I just wanted to go over the bands real quick and show you what I was doing. And like I said, I really like, I mean, just look at that. It's just built right in. It's got a little knob on it, so you just, it's just such a beautiful concept. And I hope, actually, you know what? I wonder if it's possible to, no, I don't think it is, because I have to move it. Well, that's something to play with too. I might try getting their the manual pins in there, but we're gonna play with that. And I know this strap came in a kit of 3, I believe. There is gray, black, and green. And I like this band for as long as it lasted. I just wish the material stood up longer. This was just a rougher, stronger material that didn't start to stretch, and as you can see, start to knot up there. This would be a really nice watch band. So anyway, showed you the bands, showed you, if you need to know how to replace a band, once again, I hate copying videos that are out there. It's not that difficult. I just am making it more difficult than it is. I hope I don't know. I hope you're having a good day, and I hope the rest of it goes well. I appreciate you watching, and I still have ideas for other things, always working on a bunch of projects. I have some knives to show off. I had thought about doing a leather. I was going to do a custom sheath that I forget what I did with that. I think I found somebody else made a sheath that was better than the one I was looking at designing. But yeah, if any project ideas you have, let me know. Otherwise, I'll hopefully see you soon. Once again, have a good day. Thanks.